see, I've been involved with mixed martial arts both as a fan and training fighters really since the early days of mixed martial arts, at least in America. The back to the early to mid '90s.
I remember renting the UFC 1.
Right. See, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Back when it first came out, it was popular. It was the quote blood sport. Then it got banned on cable and went underground. Well, for a long time, there's a lot of people. Of course, MMA now is one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing sport in America, maybe even the world. Yeah. And it's it's on cable TV and there's pay-per-views every few weeks. But there was a long time to where you had it was very, very shunned, and it wasn't popular. And your guys that were fighting professionally, you had a few guys that could make a living doing it, but most of your guys didn't. They just they had to work a full-time job as well as train full-time in order to compete. Well, the difference with training full-time with mixed martial arts as opposed to virtually any other sport is that at the time, of course, now you've got mixed martial arts gyms, and that you go in and that's what you're learning is mixed martial arts. Well, then there was no such thing. So if you wanted to compete in MMA, you had to go to a boxing gym or a boxing coach, jiu-jitsu gym, possibly some wrestling, Muay Thai. You had to attend all these different classes. So it was almost like preparing for 3, 4, 5 different sports all at the same time while you're working a full-time job, maybe taking care of a family, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not like these guys had any kind of real long-term time to be able to dedicate to strength conditioning. But what was actually, even worse for these guys is mixed martial arts is one of the most physically demanding sports in existence, in that many sports have a specific set of physical needs. Take, let's say, American baseball, for instance. It's largely a power sport. There's a speed element. There's not much in the way of endurance needed or aerobic capacity or anything else like that. And most sports you can find these specific little physical characteristics or physical traits that one would need to tailor their strength conditioning program for. Mixed martial arts or many combat sports, on the other hand, really run the gamut. You need aerobic endurance, anaerobic endurance, muscular endurance. You need maximal strength. You need power. You need power endurance. All these different things. So here these guys are, and they have this really, really wide need of physical characteristics that they need to have developed at a high level, but yet they've got an absolute minimal amount of time to do it. So I started researching and started playing around with different things and experimenting and having different fighters and wrestlers and these guys try this stuff out. And the thing that it kind of hit me one day was that, this is perfect for the average Joe, because really the average Joe has the same sort of needs. You've got a guy that wants to be in great shape, have all these same sort of characteristics, not because he's getting ready for a fight or anything, but just because, kind of like I said, he wants to be healthy, he wants to be in shape, wants to be able to take care of, whatever might come his way. Maybe he's got a physical labor type job. Not to mention, the whole idea, especially for guys anyway, that, if you've got a wife or a girlfriend or a family, you want to be that protector. You want to be able to take care of your family. The whole proverbial, if you're walking along with your wife and, the mugger comes along and snatches, her purse, are you going to be able to chase the guy down? That kind of thing. The average Joe doesn't have a whole lot of time to train either. So, and then couple it with a decent diet, and you've got a good physique, maybe throw in a tad bit of vanity training just because you want to look good, and there's really a lot more applicability and a lot more carryover than a lot of people thought. So that's what I do, is I try to develop programs that work for fighters, but at the same time they really work for the average Joe. You get a lot of bang for your buck. You're not working out all day long, but yet you're getting a real high return on your training time and your training efforts.
Clear the line, can you read me? Shortage on rhymes, MCs to the